Back in August of 2020, while Ellen was on a summer hiatus and just weeks after numerous accusations of a toxic workplace environment, which would lead to an internal investigation, rumors of her show being cancelled started to swirl. Other rumors claimed that the show would stay on air, but upon its return may feature a new host. Some of the names that were making headlines included James Corden and Tiffany Haddish, both of whom are included on today's list. However, some of the other names on here may surprise or excite you. With Ellen announced that the 19th season will be her final, we're counting the top 10 influencers that should replace The Ellen Show. Smash the like button and let's get into it. So starting us off at 10, Tiffany Haddish. Of all those on this list, it seems Tiffany's name has been brought up the most, often when speaking of Ellen's replacement. Back in August of 2020, when Ellen was on a summer hiatus and some wondered if she was even going to return, many thought Tiffany was next in line to take over. So naturally, now that Ellen has announced her show will be ending, it seems most people are putting their money on Tiffany taking the reins. A successful actor, comedian, and now author, it seems after Tiffany did an incredible job hosting Saturday Night Live back in 2017, which would also earn her an Emmy, she would also be considered for the show. As of this recording, it seems most media outlets are in the camp that she actually will be taking over, potentially knowing something the general public doesn't, or maybe they're just churning the rumor mill and throwing Tiffany's name in there knowing it's a popular one. Who knows? Until we get an answer, let's look at some other potential replacements. At number 9, Wanda Sykes. Yet another very successful actor, comedian, and all-around entrepreneur who has been in the spotlight for quite some time and is definitely deserving of her own show. If you don't recognize the name or the face, you'd probably recognize her voice, as Wanda has likely made you laugh till your sides hurt at some point in your life. If you've seen her on Curb, Blackish, any of her stand-up, or really just Wanda in general, she's very funny. And at one point back in 2009-2010, she actually did have her own show, however it would be cancelled after just one season. So why does she deserve another shot? Well, the time slot Wanda was given was a Saturday night spot on Fox, replacing Mad TV, which, I feel late night is much tougher than daytime. I'm not even gonna say tougher, I'm gonna say just different. I could be wrong, but at least for my generation, I think competing with Wendy Williams and The View isn't as hard as Fallon or Kimmel. Just my opinion, but I think Wanda during the daytime would be absolutely killer. On to number 8, Lily Singh. Now I know that given that her show was just cancelled, it probably wouldn't be the best look for Lily just to take over, but much like Wanda, it seems that nighttime slot is very tough to fill. Aside from the fact that I'm going to say more people watch TV during the day than at 1:30 at night, again, we need to consider people who work from home, especially during the pandemic, who have the TV in the background, stay-at-home parents, retired people, and so on. I think it's safe to say more people watch the 1:30 p.m. slot than 1:30 a.m. slot. 1:30 a.m. is for Netflix. So going back to Lily, well, she has quite a large following, and clearly the network saw it in her to host 2 seasons, so why not give her another shot in a different way? Daytime and nighttime talk shows are very different, in the sense that it seems daytime shows are more about the interview and nighttime shows are more about personality. The games, quizzes, and so on is what I mean by personality. And although Lily is great at entertaining on YouTube, it seems for whatever reason, her shtick didn't translate to the big screen. Doesn't mean she's not a good host, maybe the late night just isn't for her. Imagine someone like Kimmel, Fallon, or James Corden hosting a show in the middle of the day. It just wouldn't hit the same. Like I said, it's not that one's harder or easier, they're just different. On to number 7, Laverne Cox. It seems the idea of the Orange is the New Black actor and trans activist taking over the daytime show was an idea many supported back when it was rumored James Corden would be replacing Ellen in August of 2020. Again, one of the many names that have been rumored or pushed into consideration, it seems a tweet in support of Cox taking over garnered a lot of support, with Saeed Jones tweeting out, I quote, "If y'all give the show to a straight white man, I will snap. It's obvious that at Laverne Cox should take over." That tweet alone got over 400 retweets and 5,000 likes, while another tweet in response to the original read, "I have nothing against James Corden, but Laverne Cox should be 100 times better." Clearly a fan favorite, it's unclear how seriously networks would be considering Cox. However, given her success over the last few years, including multiple Emmy Awards, it's clear the TV and the fans like her. At number 6, James Corden. Speaking of JC, I figure why not put him right after all the slander he just received. Clearly people are a fan of James, but it seems for some, well, he's jumped the line of entertainers hosting shows. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not really sure where he came from, kinda just had his show one day, but that's alright, doesn't mean he's not deserving of it. Yet for some reason, a lot of people don't like this guy. Either way, it seems regardless of how people feel online, the networks are obviously a big fan of James, as he's had his own show since 2015, and has gone on to host numerous award shows since. His carpool karaoke shtick has also gone very big online, specifically on YouTube and TikTok, as it's become quite a popular trend among the younger generations. Would he be a good fit to replace Ellen? Well, as I said before, the late night and daytime shows are different. Personally, I think James is better at night, but we gotta just wait and see what the networks think. At number 5, Jenna Marbles. Bit of a wild card, sure, but Jenna Marbles is a YouTube legend. She was one of the first to really make a name for herself on the platform, and one of the original few content creators who didn't get canceled by the masses. Sure, she canceled herself in a sense, highlighting some of her past content and bringing to light the issues she can now see with it. Many were actually praising Jenna for being so vulnerable and holding herself accountable without people having to require her to do so. That being said, Jenna also felt it was time to take a step back from the platform altogether, leaving indefinitely. But it seems to this day people are still wondering if she will ever come back to her channel. It is possible, considering how a lot of those who watched Jenna have grown up over the last 10 years, that they would fully support her taking over for Ellen. Given that cable television is becoming a less popular medium, whereas streaming services are starting to dominate, I could see Warner Media trying to hire a younger, more influential, yet known face across the younger generations to step up to the plate and hopefully bring some more life into TV. On to number 4, Kristen Bell. A good friend of Ellen's who has actually been consistently featured on Ellen's YouTube channel with a segment of her own, something Ellen may have been training Bell to take over for years to come. Referred to as ellentube, Kristen here has been hosting Momsplaining with Kristen Bell for 5 seasons now. She's been on the show numerous times and has also been featured on Ellen's Instagram page, as the two are clearly good pals. And a familiar face among viewers already, some think the networks may be pushing for Bell to take over, given that she's already known among the audience and wouldn't be as much of a significant change from the daytime host that's held it down for 19 years. Has it been 19 years? I guess, yeah, years too, right? I guess that makes sense. Some are all in for the idea of the actor taking over for Ellen, while others fear that it will be too much for her schedule, which would result in her no longer appearing in some of their favorite TV shows or potential films. At number 3, Steven Twitch Boss. Speaking of familiar faces, I think anyone who has watched Ellen more than once or twice knows exactly who Twitch is. And given that he's been Ellen's co-host since 2014, as well as eventually signing on to co-produce, it seems Boss here knows a thing or two about working on The Ellen Show. Speaking on his growth in general and the experience with the show, he explained to ET Canada, I quote, "With my new role as co-executive producer, I feel like I really get the full 360-degree experience of being with the show, not only in front of the camera, but behind camera." And of course, when asked about the show's future and potential he could take over, he admitted, I quote, "Those are the conversations we're having right now." Later explaining that he'll be guest hosting an episode in the summer, which would be his 20th time doing so. Clearly experienced, he capped off saying, I quote, "I'm having a really good time in the chair. I'm really falling in love with the process. So absolutely." Obviously referring to him possibly taking over. We'll see. At number 2, we got Ali Wong. Anyone else notice a theme of majority of those on this list being comedians? Wong has been a name in the running alongside Tiffany Haddish for quite some time. Given that they've both spent the last few years dominating the comedy world with tours, Netflix specials, and of course TV shows, it seems Wong has a lot of experience some of the others on our list don't. Between the stand-up presence, the on-camera presence as an actor, the writing and producing credits, it seems Ali could be an incredible replacement for Ellen. Then again, I genuinely think the majority of those on this list would make good replacements. I mean, that's why they're on here. As long as it's someone generally unproblematic with a nice smile and friendly face, I think we're golden, and I think Ali checks all those boxes. Although some aren't the most fond of her, it seems that's always going to be the case when you're successful. As they say, if you don't have haters, you're not that successful. So, give me your worst in the comments down below. That name Pepper's stupid. You're not that spicy. I bet I could eat you whole. Well, guess what, guys? I've heard it all, baby. At number 1, Oprah Winfrey. She did it before, and some think she even paved the way for Ellen to have the career she's been able to have. Given that Oprah also has her own show and really wouldn't need to be committed to such a heavy schedule, it's highly unlikely she does take over. But I can tell you right now, if Oprah were back on the air, I think TV ratings would be through the roof. I don't know what it is about this woman, but she just knows how to captivate an audience. It's like me yelling science. Like, people just love it for some reason. And with that in mind, it is possible that Warner Media tries to somehow make a deal with Oprah's studios. However, at this point, I think it's more wishful thinking than anything. Maybe Warner Media will give me my own show, like The Science Show with Brostein. Science, baby! Let's talk science! What's up, bros? Alright guys, there you have it for the top 10 influencers that should replace The Ellen Show. Let us know your thoughts on this one down below and who we missed. For now, let's reply to some of your comments from the video. Logan and Jake Paul spark outrage in Puerto Rico. Cindy June said, "I live in Los Angeles. We have not missed them." Have you ever, did you ever see them though? I was in LA for a month, and the only famous person I saw is when I wasn't even in LA, I was in like a suburb of LA, and I was out for dinner with my family, or family friends at a fancy restaurant, and I saw Michael Jackson's mom and sister, and I had no idea it was them. Not Janet, the other sister, who I don't even know what her name is off the top of my head. And I held the door, because like the mother was old, so I held the door just, you know, being a nice guy, and the mother said thank you, and Michael Jackson's sister didn't say thank you. And I was like, what's up with this attitude? Who do you think you are? And then I realized you're Michael Jackson's sister. Actually, I didn't even realize, someone told me. Anyways. Sarah Tronis said, "How hard is it for these people to respect other people's countries / place other living things honestly?" Yes, that's a very loaded question. It seems there's a lot of places in the world that can't respect each other. Nikki said, "When do they not spark outrage? They thrive on controversy." To an extent, I don't think Logan's necessarily as controversial as Jake is. I think Jake thrives on controversy. I think Logan tries to not be as controversial and just tries to just be an entertainer. But I mean, entertainers gotta be controversial. That's how they get their names in headlines. So I guess it's kind of part of it. Anyways, guys, that's all for this one. I've been your boy Pepper. We'll see you soon. Oh, my phone just fell. Fantastic. This is so I love it. I love it. I love it. I love working from home. I love the weather in Toronto. I love my allergies. Everything's great today. Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. The arc of emotion in this video of how frustrated and angry I got to how much more calm and happy I am now, incredible. Incredible range. That's how I know I'm a good actor. Incredible range. At number 1, Oprah Winfrey. She did it before and some even... She did it before and some even... Oh my God. She did it before and some even say she is... About to punch my camera. She did it before and some even... She did it before and some say... And some say even... Oh, that's why. I it properly.